lọ́lọ́run mi o, ọba mímọ́. Olórí ẹlọ́rẹ̀lì, lórí ẹlọ́rẹ̀lì, lórí ẹlọ́rẹ̀lì. Akọ́dá aṣẹ̀dá mẹ́ta, ọlọ́wọ́ gbọ̀gbọ̀rọ̀ sí gbọ̀gbọ̀ rẹ̀ lọ́sìn. Ọ̀yẹ́ mọ́rọ̀ kù yẹ sámọ́ bùsùkú ọmọ mọ́. Ẹlẹ́yin tí wọ́n ló bàbá mi sí gbẹ̀lú òun ní aṣọ ọ̀la o. Ọ̀pá lè mẹ́mọ́, ọ̀lẹ́ lè mẹ́mọ́ kí ibù o. Ọlọ́run mi, hey, let's go. Èmi kò lè ṣe, kẹ́mi máa yí Olúwa o. Èmi kò lè ṣe, kẹ́mi máa yí Olúwa o. Bóyá bàbá mi ló jẹ́ Ọlọ́run àgbàlagbà. Bàbá mi ló jẹ́ Ọlọ́run àgbà òye. Èmi kò lè ṣe, kẹ́mi máa yí Olúwa o. Hallelujah. Èmi kò lè ṣe, èmi kò lè ṣe, kẹ́mi máa yí Olúwa o. Ó ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì. Èmi kò lè ṣe, kẹ́mi máa yí Olúwa o. Nítorí bàbá mi ló jẹ́ Ọlọ́run àgbàlagbà. This is my father. Bàbá mi ló jẹ́ Ọlọ́run àgbà òye. Èmi kò lè ṣe, kẹ́mi máa yí Olúwa o. What's the chicken? Mama no, listen. 2,000 years ago, he died for my sins. 2,000 years ago, he paid the price for me. He don't even know my mama. Before he died for me, he don't even know my papa. Before he died for me, every caller say, I love you too. Make I no praise this God. Every caller say, give me my Olúwa o. Laila, every caller say, give me my Olúwa o. Bàbá mi ló jẹ́, bàbá mi ló jẹ́, Ọlọ́run àgbà. Alánú mi ló jẹ́, bàbá mi ló jẹ́, Ọlọ́run àgbà òye. Ẹ ó ti sè. Èmi kò lè ṣe, èmi máa yí Olúwa o. Hallelujah. Ó yẹ kó òun sókè rí bẹ́ẹ̀ sẹ́. Èmi kò lè ṣe, èmi máa yí Olúwa o. Èmi kò lè ṣe, èmi máa yí Olúwa o. Bàbá mi ló jẹ́ Ọlọ́run àgbàlagbà. Ọlọ́run bàbá mi ló jẹ́ Ọlọ́run àgbà òye. Èmi kò lè ṣe, èmi máa yí Olúwa o. Akaya, akati ọba lẹ́mẹ̀mọ́ o. Olúwa ẹ̀bùbẹ̀yà, kẹlẹ́rù wọlé lẹ́mẹ̀mọ́. Isi kẹjọ, kẹ́nà digi atata o. Hallelujah. Akaya, láolú akati lè kele mímá. Sẹ́sẹ̀mọ́. Ọwọ́ Olúwa ó ṣiṣẹ́ agbára o. Iṣẹ́ agbára o. Ìyanu lọ́ra rẹ̀ o. Sọ́yí ayé mi padà o. Sọ́yí ayé mi padà o. Orísun ìyè, orísun ìyè, orísun tí kì í gbẹni. Ọwọ́ Olúwa ó ṣiṣẹ́ agbára. Onye na-agwọdị aka Chineke na-eme mma, aka na-agbata igwe, onye na-enye ndụle, ọ na-erugharị n'ebe m nọ. Isi ike ndụ, ọ bụ ya bụ olori eloreli o. Chukwu ọma.
TV. Keep watching Reality TV.
Keep watching Reality TV.
Keep watching Reality TV.
and gentlemen, I want to welcome you back to Moments with Reality TV. Oluwarotimi Peter is my name. I am speaking to you from Reality Global Network. You are welcome. I hope if you have been following us in this A Moment with Reality TV, in some episode ago, 2 episodes ago, we have started Reality TV, and on 1 hour with Reality TV with a message on a particular subject of the kingdom, which I believe the backbone of the kingdom, where all secrets of the kingdom is hidden. What is that? That is secret of covenant. Secret of covenant. You know, I defined secret the other time as something that is kept for a purpose, something kept for a reason. So every kingdom in life, everything in life has mystery, has mystery and secret. Then, until you are able to understand the secret of a particular thing, you will not be able to enjoy it. You may have the key of your car with you. If you don't know the secret or mystery of how to operate the car, the key with you will be useless. In fact, you may use your money to buy phone for yourself, Android phone for yourself. You know, if you don't know how to operate the phone, it will just be like you are holding a calculator. That is why the secret we are in has mystery or are secret. Even the kingdom of the darkness, they have secret too. That is why many of the children of the kingdom are suffering, because they don't know how to unfold the secret that is put together into this kingdom for the benefit of all the children of God. I am still introducing covenant. I have used 2 past episodes to introduce covenant. There I say, what is covenant? I introduce covenant, and then the second one, the topic is what is covenant. I also introduce covenant. In the first one, I said is an agreement between 2 parties. Covenant is an agreement between 2 parties. And then in the past episode, I said somebody is a covenantor and the other party is the covenantee. So there should be an agreement between both of them, so that one will offer service and the other one will pay for the service. But in this episode, which is part 3 of this teaching of covenant, please let me say this before I move further. In case you are just joining us for the first time, please, I want to beg of you, go to the Reality Global Network and check on the previous episode, so that you'll be able to link the previous with this present one, so that for your better understanding. I am moving forward again in this secret of covenant. But before I do that, let me quickly have a break.
A Moment with Reality TV. A Moment with Reality TV, which formerly called An Hour with Reality TV, is a power-packed online package of Christian souls-lifting activities such as Christian music, anointed messages, This Is My Story, educational tips, Christian news, Christian movies, arena of encounter activities, and lot more. Join us every Friday at Reality Global Network, both on Facebook and YouTube. Like it, share it, and drop your comment. Jesus is Lord.
I told you the previous program that the secret of this covenant is what God has used me to practice. I've proved it, and I've taught many people, and it has changed many lives. So if God has used it to change many lives, I believe it can also change your life in the name of Jesus. So I am giving you this teaching from my book. By the grace of God, I said God has used me to write many books. At least about 50 books have been written by His grace through us. So one of the book is the book which I'm holding now, Secret of Covenant. So I am moving forward from Psalm 62 verse 11. Psalm 62 verse 11. I read, God has spoken once, twice I've heard this, that power belongs unto God. Then, what does this Bible reference mean? The meaning is there is a power we call power of covenant, and power of covenant is in the hands of the Lord. He has spoken once, twice have I heard. Power is in the hands of God. Power to change life, power to transform life, power to achieve your purpose in life, and power to overcome your enemy, power to be wealthy is in the hands of the Lord. And this power is embedded into the covenant. I read out from the book with me, Secret of Covenant. I will continue again about the meaning of covenant and how it works. Covenant make power of God to be real in the life of believer. If you don't have a covenant with God, forget the reality of the power of God. It is the power of covenant that demonstrates its reality. Among all the concepts of the kingdom, there is none that can move God like covenant. Listen to this. It is the power of God, the power of covenant, that can make the reality of God to be real in the life of anybody, particularly the believer. Do you know prayer does not move God like covenant? Even praises does not move God like covenant. Exodus chapter 2 verse 24 buttress that. Prayer or fasting or your praise does not move God as covenant. The only thing that move God is the power of covenant. Exodus chapter 2 verse 24 says, and God heard their groaning, and God remember His covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob. What does God remember? He only remember covenant. The only thing that God remember, it is not their crying. Now, it's not their crying. Some people will be referring to the crying. It was not their crying that God was hearing or groaning. God only remember the covenant they are into. So what can make God to remember you for good in your life is the covenant you enter into with God. If you are not there, you are not there. I am telling you emphatically. If you are not there in the covenant, forget about it. Life will remain like that. I read on. The only thing that God can remember is the covenant that He has made with man. This is a particular thing I know very well, and I don't know how to practice politics, but the one I know I practice is covenant. I don't know how to. I'm not a politician. The only thing I know and I practice that work for me, that can work for anybody that subscribe to what I'm saying, is this covenant. I read further. It is not what I preach alone, but what I do, because I understand it. I have been in it for several years now, and it is what has made my life where it is today. That is what is going to elevate me to the next level. Covenant. I told you in the previous episode that I'm a practitioner of covenant by His grace. It has changed me. If you are able to know me or see me, you see in a practical terms around me that covenant is working. So if it works for me, it can work for anybody. And what is covenant? In this episode, I define covenant the third time. I have defined it in 2 past episodes. I am defining covenant also here. I say I want to define the simple dictionary. I say a covenant is a solemn and binding agreement between two parties. It's a solemn and binding agreement. It's still the same thing. The definition of the first one and the second one and this very definition complement each other. However, to the one I know and from my experience, a deal with God, and it is written by Yoruba proverb that ẹni tí ó bá dalẹ̀ á bá ilẹ̀ lọ. That means he that betrays a covenant shall go by the consequence. You know why some people are suffering today? Even as I'm teaching now, some people say, I'm in covenant. I'm even bearing covenant. The name of my child is covenant. The name of my business is covenant. Covenant Enterprises. Covenant Church of God. It's not about the name I've told you before. It's not about the name you bear. It's about the practice of it, understanding of it, and the practice. You know, some people will say, I've been working in covenant. It's because the reason it has not been working for you is because you have broken it. Covenant is not what you break. When you are in it, you don't break it. When you are in covenant, you don't break it. You just have to be in it like death and life. It's like signing your death warrant that if I die, I die. Just like Esther says in the book of Esther. If I die, I die. If I live, I live. That is the language of anybody that want to enjoy the benefit of covenant. The major problem with human being is that they don't know how to keep covenant, either with a fellow man or God. All what is working in man's life is under the deed of covenant. You cannot go into covenant with God and have problem. Take note of that. You cannot go be in the covenant with God and ever have problem. If you have problem, it's because you are not in covenant. You can't be in covenant with God and have problem. Yet give him the service that he need, and he will do his own too. The blessing you need is in the hands of the Lord. But I said in the previous chapter, you need to do what is required before you can get what is desired. Let me quickly have a break. I will come back in a moment.
Ọwọ́ Olúwa, let's go Lord. Ọwọ́ tó ṣiṣẹ́ gbẹ́rẹ́ ní. Great and mighty things. Ìyanu lára rẹ̀. His mercy. Owó ló yí ayé mi padà. His mercy is new every day. Orísun iye ayé. Orísun tí kì í padà o. Ọwọ́ Olúwa. Ó ṣiṣẹ́ agbára. Listen, his hands are big, his hands are strong, they are never weak. I want to be no one to stand in. Olúwa bùbẹ̀yọ, kẹlẹ́rùwá rílẹ̀. Bísí dùn ọtígì àtàtà. Everybody, àkàtì yóò balẹ̀ mímá.
Story 13. God's Covenant with Israel. After God led the Israelites through the Red Sea, he led them through the wilderness to a mountain called Sinai. This was the same mountain where Moses had seen the burning bush. The people set up their tents at the base of the mountain. God said to Moses and all the people of Israel, "You must always obey me and keep the covenant I am making with you. If you do this, you will be my prized possession, a kingdom of priests and a holy nation." For 3 days, the people made themselves ready for God to come near to them. Then God came down to the top of Mount Sinai. When he came, there was thunder, lightning, smoke, and sounds of loud trumpets. Then Moses went by himself up the mountain. Then God made a covenant with the people. He said, I am Yahweh, your God. It is I who saved you in Egypt. Do not worship any other god. Do not make idols, and do not worship them, because I, Yahweh, must be your only God. Do not use my name in a disrespectful way. Be sure to keep the Sabbath day holy. In other words, do all your work in 6 days. For the seventh day is a day for you to rest and to remember me. Honor your father and your mother. Do not murder. Do not commit adultery. Do not steal. Do not lie. Do not desire to have your neighbor's wife, his house, or anything that belongs to him. Then God wrote these 10 commandments on 2 stone tablets and gave them to Moses. God also gave the people many other laws and rules to follow. God promised to bless the people and protect them if they obeyed these laws, but he said he would punish them if they did not obey them. God also told the Israelites to make a large tent, the tent of meeting. He told them exactly how to make this tent and what things to put in it. He told them to make a large curtain to separate the tent into 2 rooms. God would come into the room behind the curtain and stay there. Only the high priest was allowed to go into that room where God was. The people must also make an altar in front of the tent of meeting. Anyone who had disobeyed God's law should bring an animal to that altar. A priest would then kill it and burn it on the altar as a sacrifice to God. God said that the animal's blood would cover that person's sin. In this way, God would not see that sin any longer. That person would become clean in God's sight. God chose Moses' brother Aaron and Aaron's descendants to be his priests. The people all agreed to obey the laws that God had given them. They agreed to belong to God alone and to worship only Him. For many days, Moses remained on top of Mount Sinai. He was talking with God, but the people became tired of waiting for him to return to them. So they brought gold to Aaron and asked him to make an idol they could worship instead of God. In this way, they sinned terribly against God. Aaron made a golden idol in the shape of a calf. The people began to wildly worship the idol and make sacrifices to it. God was very angry with them because of their sin. He wanted to destroy them. But Moses asked God not to kill them. God listened to his prayer and did not destroy them. Moses finally came down from Mount Sinai. He was carrying the 2 stone tablets on which God had written the 10 commandments. Then he saw the idol. He was so angry that he smashed the tablets. Then Moses beat the idol into powder, threw the powder into some water, and made the people drink the water. God sent a plague on the people, and many of them died. Moses made new stone tablets for the 10 commandments to replace the ones that he had broken. Then he climbed the mountain again and prayed that God would forgive the people. God listened to Moses and forgave them. Moses came back down the mountain with the 10 commandments on the new tablets. Then God led the Israelites away from Mount Sinai toward the Promised Land.
A moment with Reality TV. A Moment with Reality TV, which formerly called An Hour with Reality TV, is a power-packed online package of Christian souls lifting activities such as Christian music, anointed messages, This Is My Story, educational tips, Christian news, Christian movies, arena of encounter activities, and lot more. Join us on every Friday at Reality Global Network, both on Facebook and YouTube. Like it, share it, and drop your comment. Jesus is Lord.
You are welcome back. There are 3,000 promises in the Bible, as I said in the previous episode. No one will work if you don't follow the condition that is attached to it. It will never work. You will just be quoting it, but what you really want to use it for will not work except you follow the condition attached to that promises. For instance, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Then listen to this. Since you have been quoting this Bible passage, tell me, if you have not been a victim of indebtedness, the Lord is my shepherd. People are good, are very expert in quoting the Bible. They are good in quoting Bible. Offered. It's not about what you quote. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. The Lord, are you free from debt since you have been quoting it? Because you are not following the condition attached to it. Let me help you how you can go about it. Anytime you find any promises in the Bible, you just look around the place that you find the promises. There will be a condition that will need to fulfill before the promise will come to pass. Let me tell you this simple fact. Once you find the condition attached to the promise, you don't need any prayer. If you are praying, you are stressing yourself, because that Bible passage has provided for you what you enjoy if you are ready to do the condition attached to it. Any Bible passage you read that is good for you, I said there are 3,000 Bible passages in the Bible attached to covenant. That's about rather the benefit of humanity. All those three Bible passages cannot be exploited without fulfilling the terms and condition. You just need to fulfill the condition attached to it. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Read it all, you see the condition there. When before you read the Bible passage to the end, that is Psalm 23, then you see the condition. Until you follow the condition, then you cannot enjoy the benefit, the covenant. Let me read it on. God is not like man that will not stand by his word. As soon as you follow the condition, you automatically in it, even without fasting. Can you take note of that? As soon as you are ready to follow the condition, you are automatically in it, in the covenant. Without fasting, it will come to pass. It will come surely, because God is not a man. I have told you last time that he should lie, neither the Son of Man that he will change his mind. The Bible is the book of covenant that demonstrates reality. It does not matter how you pray and cry unto him, it's not good. The only thing that he recognizes is the covenant that you have with him. I want you to know that prayer concept is important, no matter how emotional or melodious it is. There are different types of prayer that we do pray with, which are important. Let me tell you the meaning of this. There are many prayers. People love prayer, especially in this part of the world, Nigeria. We love prayer so much, and Africa as a continent. We love prayer. Prayer is good. I don't underrate prayer. As I'm speaking to you, I'm a man of prayer by his grace. I am an engine of prayer. I do pray by his grace. But what I'm saying is, I am not under important prayer. But what I'm telling you is, prayer is useless if you pray without understanding. And the understanding of prayer is when you pray right. It is when you pray right, then you can get the right result. Let me read on. There are times that we think prayer can change things. For instance, it is not the prayer that you pray that move God first. He said, if you ask anything according to my will, and I will do it for you. Now, after coming back from the break now, I want to begin to break it down. The kind of prayer people pray and not getting results. I'll come back in a moment.
Of his reality church, and it shall come to pass in the last day that the mountain of the Lord house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and all the nations shall flow unto it, and many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of Jacob, and he will teach us of his way, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. This is the picture of church called Power of His Reality Church, situated in Okeobere off Ijoka Road, Akure. Fellowship with us every Sunday 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. You can contact our Father in the Lord via 080-3365-6797 or follow us through any of our online programs. Jesus is Lord.
Obìnrin kan wá mi ní ọ̀sẹ̀ tí ní ọ̀sẹ̀ méjì síbí mo rí obìnrin yẹn for the first time mi ò rí rí. Ó rẹ̀ ti mọ̀ láti bí 3 years. Wọ́n pè mí lórí aago. Ẹnìkan ló sọ pé tó bá ń pe pásítọ̀ kan lókè Ọ̀bẹ̀rẹ̀, bàbá yẹn afọ́jú ni. Ìyàwó ẹ̀ tó ń tọ́jú ẹ̀, iṣẹ́ tó ń ṣe náà, ju kó máa tọ́jú bàbá yẹn. Náà wá pè mí, wọ́n dẹ̀ sọ condition bàbá yẹn. Then mo dẹ̀ ń send owó sí wọn regularly ẹni tí mi ò rí rí. Just send your account to me. Regularly ni mo send owó sí. Last 2 weeks ni mo ṣe rí obìnrin yẹn ṣojú fọdẹ mi ò mọ̀ bóyá wà mí gan báyìí lórí àpẹ last 2 weeks yẹn ó wá sí program yìí ọ̀sẹ̀ tó kọjá ó wá sí program yìí ó wá júwe ara mi ò mọ̀ yín ó dẹ̀ júwe ara ẹ̀yin ni ó máa ń bá mi sọ̀rọ̀ lórí fóònù látọdún kẹta mi ò rí sójú rí o tó dẹ̀ attract mi ni pé wọ́n ní bàbá yìí afọ́jú ni kò lè rí ọ. If I begin to mention I don't want to magnify myself, but my people tí wọ́n wà pẹ̀lú mi, they understand what I'm saying. I have very many of them tí wọ́n jẹ́ abarapá aláìlera ní àyíká mi ó jẹ́ pé they feed, they live by my systems because I love them. Ṣé àpẹ àwọn kan ṣe aláìlera nígbà kan tán sick tí mo gbọ́ aṣọ ọrùn mi fún kí wọ́n wọ̀ tán gba ìwòsàn. Àwọn èèyàn mi bóyá ẹlòmíì lè máa rò pé bó ṣe wọ aṣọ yẹ kọ́ lọ́ọ́ bá mi dáná sun ni bó ṣe ń wọ̀ mo bọ́ aṣọ ọrùn mi gbogbo kó wọ̀ ẹni yẹn wọ aṣọ yẹ ó dẹ̀ gba ìwòsàn lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ aṣọ mi tún dá tèmi padà mo tún wọ nǹkan mi. Agbára nínú ayé mi lọ́lọ́run fi sínú ayé ẹ̀ kò fún mi ò fún láṣọ mi ó dẹ̀ sí wọ nǹkan mi tó lẹ̀ mọ́ mi kò lè lẹ̀ mọ́ mi. Ẹgbẹ́ ilé nígbà kòró à ń bomú torí ìjọba sọ pé ká bomú adẹ̀ ń bomú torí pé oríṣiríṣi tó ń wá síbí. Nígbà kòró we dealt with a lot of people from various places. Ìfẹ́nìkan ló wá tó ní torí Ọlọ́run rí àti wa ó mọ̀ pé ìfẹ́ tí a ní sí àwọn ènìyàn. Tàbí ṣe lè and we have not received money from anybody. Love everybody equally. Listen to me, people of God. Love everybody. Ní àdúgbò tó wà. Excuse sir, tẹ́ bá ti rí pásítọ̀ tí Ọlọ́run bá pè tí ó ní ìpè Ọlọ́run ní ayé ẹ̀, ọ̀nà tẹ́ ẹ fi gbà mọ̀ pé Ọlọ́run ó ní ìpè Ọlọ́run nínú ayé ẹ̀ ní ìwà tó ní. Mo dẹ̀ máa ń sọ fún àwọn ènìyàn, màá dẹ̀ máa ń sọ. Mo ní tẹ́ bá rí ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì tó ní potential àti grow àti dánilá tàbí ìránṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run tó ní potential àti grow àti dánilá kì í ṣàwọn tó wá látòkèrè. Tí ará àdúgbò yẹn ò bá ti gba ti ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì yẹn máa close tó bá yá. Tí ìwà ẹ̀ tí ò jẹ́ kí ará àdúgbò gba tiẹ̀ tó bá wù kó lọ́mọ fi bọ́ọ̀sì kó wọn wá láti ọjà ọba kó páàkì kan sí ọ̀nà rẹ̀ sẹ̀ kó lọ páàkì kan sí ìta lóhùn kó máa kó tọ́lá tó ń bọ̀ lójú ọ̀nà aládùúgbò àdúgbò là á sọ fún dírẹ́fà yìí pé ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì tẹ́ ń bọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ibi tẹ́ lè wà. ẹ ti gbàgbé pé téèyàn bá ń bọ̀ lókèrè nígbà míì tó fẹ́ change environment tó bá kó dé àdúgbò ilé tó bá kó síbi eléyìí àwọn tó ń gbénu ilé yẹn ló mọ dìtámì bóyá ẹni tó ẹ̀sẹ̀ kó sílé ìyá wa ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì ibẹ̀ yẹn. torí mi tó bá ti ń débẹ̀ àwọn tó wà bẹ́ẹ̀ làwọn sọ ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì tó lọ lé ní wọ́n ní sọ̀rọ̀. nẹ́tọ̀ náà bá ní common sense ṣe rí ìhùn yẹn mẹ́sẹ̀jì ni. Your relationship with people. Tí àdúgbò kan ò bá ti gbà ẹ́ bóyá o yálégbé ń bẹ̀ tàbí o kọ́lé síbẹ̀ tí àdúgbò kan ò gbà ẹ́ ládùúgbò yẹn kò síbi tá a gbà ẹ́ láyé. Ilé tó wà níwájú yẹn àjẹni màmá tó kọ́lé ẹ̀yìn yẹn àkọ́bí Sátánì èyí tó wà ó ríran ni ká ló mọ̀ wá ti mọ̀ pé o ní last born. Gbogbo èèyàn tó wà ládùúgbò sí kankan tó dáa ìwọ gan ló ní problem. You must love everybody. Love me, love you. Ohun tó enhance the progress nìyẹn. Àdúgbò tí a ti wá síbí mo gbé program kalẹ̀ ládùúgbò yẹn fún gbogbo láńlọ́ọ̀dù àdúgbò láti fi ọdún 7 wọ́n sì ń ṣe dè ní. Látọdún wọ́n sì ṣe dè ní. Ìjẹ́ àpẹ́ program tí wọ́n ṣe ní àdúgbò yìí lọ́dọọdún ní December ṣe pé mi mo gbé kalẹ̀ sáré. Ẹ lọ bèèrè lọ́wọ́ ẹ lọ ka ìwé ìtàn èmi ni mo gbé kalẹ̀. Mo kàn dé lọ́jọ́ kan mo dẹ̀ lọ bá chairman bàbá Akíntádé mo ní mo fẹ́ kí àwọn láńlọ́ọ̀dù àdúgbò yìí máa ṣe prayer papọ̀. Wọ́n wá ní báwo nìkan ṣe ṣe mo ní kankan àmì announce káwọn èèyàn. And we did it that year. We did it the following year. Ẹ wo bí program yẹn ṣe dà lẹ́nu. Ó ti pinlẹ̀ lẹ́nu. Then when you say you are a child of God, many of us are children of God without character. Kí anointing yẹn kó kún dí ẹnu kó máa ṣàn dànù. Tí o bá ti sí ìfẹ́ tó o ní ìfẹ́, forget about it, you will not last. Ẹni tó ní ìfẹ́ lára ló ní ènìyàn lára. Sọ̀rọ̀ mi yé. Nígbà míì tó bá wá ní àléébù kékeré nítorí pé ó fẹ́ràn wọ́n fojú fo àléébù ẹ̀. Wọ́n ní mistake ló ṣe. Ṣùgbọ́n ẹni tí ò nífẹ̀ẹ́ tẹ́lẹ̀ kí nǹkan tó ń ṣe gan wọ́n ti dáná sun. Love is very very powerful. Love is very very powerful. Ibi tí màá parí ẹ̀sìn lélẹ̀. Ọ̀nà tó lè fi hàn pé o fẹ́ràn ọmọnìkejì ẹ o ní kó dáríjì tó bá ṣẹlẹ̀. Hello. Mo ti sẹ̀yìn. Ẹ̀ ń bínú lọ́wọ́. Ọ̀nà tí o lè gbà fi ìfẹ́ hàn ni kí o dáríjì ọmọnìkejì ẹ tó bá ṣẹlẹ̀. Ẹ gbójú ayọ̀ sókè. Nǹkan mẹ́rin kan tẹ̀léra wọn. Ìkíní occurrence. Sọ pé occurrence. Ṣé yín yẹ̀ ò ní yọ wáyé? Tó bá yọ ẹ̀tún ṣá. Ok. Sọ pé occurrence. Ọ̀fẹ́. Unforgiveness. Bitterness. Ṣé rí nǹkan mẹ́rin tí mo dárúkọ yẹn? Ìkíní ni occurrence. Ṣé rí occurrence ní ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀? Sọ pé ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀. Sọ pé ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀. Ohun tó ń kọ́ ṣẹlẹ̀ ní pé èèyàn méjì lè kọlura wọn. Ẹ̀rí kan ṣe sí torí pé ẹjọ́ wà láyé lẹ ṣe kọlura. Pásọ̀ mọ̀ bọ̀. Rìn pàdé mi. Ó yá ẹ̀rìn pàdé mi kájọ gbẹ̀gbẹ́ ara wa.
Tí ó bá rẹ̀ ní mọ́, ọwọ́ tó tún ní sílẹ̀ tó ń gbani ní. I love this one. Ojú etí mi ti gbọ́, ẹnu mi máa sọ̀rọ̀ pa iṣẹ́ Olúwa. Ojú mi ti rí, etí mi ti gbọ́, ẹnu mi máa sọ̀rọ̀ pa iṣẹ́ Olúwa. Anya máa ń go, etí máa ń go, ọlọ́run bẹ̀rù, iye ọmọ lè mẹ́rẹ̀ mọ́. Anya máa ń go, etí máa ń go, ọlọ́run bẹ̀rù, iye ọmọ lè mẹ́rẹ̀ mọ́.
Anya máa ń go, etí máa ń go, ọlọ́run bẹ̀rù, anya máa ń go, etí máa ń go, ọlọ́run bẹ̀rù.
Sing it one more time. Anya máa ń go, anya máa ń go,
Etí máa ń go,
ojú mi ti rí, ojú mi ti rí,
anya máa ń go,
etí mi ti rí. Imuchukwu onye dube, Imuchukwu onye dịkwa, hallelujah, Ibu Alpha na Omega mbụ, onye bụ n'onye ikpeazụ, iwu n'ibere tí o pé o, mmalite n'ọgwụgwụ, ya kachila si, Ibu
You're welcome back. Before I stop for break, I said when I come back, I'll talk about why people pray and not getting results and the kind of prayer. I'll give you some type of prayer people pray. In fact, it's a common prayer that people always pray. What they admire for, they admire for what they want, that they capture prayer points around and disturb heaven. They only disturbing heaven. Heaven does not hear what they are saying. There's one thing to cry, there's another thing for God to hear your cry. So it is when God heard your cry, it is then it will lead to results for you. Let me tell you the type of prayer that people pray wrongly outside covenant. Then I will tell you the covenant that should be attached to it before they can get results. Number one, do you know people pray for victory without the understanding of it? And I'll give you the Bible reference for that. I mean, it is very wrong. It's good, you can pray for victory. I am not objecting praying for victory. You can pray for victory, but I'm telling you there are some things you need to know. If you know what you need to know, you just pray little prayer or no prayer and you will enjoy victory. I am telling you. You pray little prayer or no prayer, not even pray at all, and you enjoy victory. In Exodus chapter 23 verse 22, I will tell you what you need to know about praying for victory. Exodus chapter 23, I read verse 22. But if thou shalt indeed obey his voice and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto thy enemies, and an adversary unto thy adversary. Take note of this. If thou shalt indeed obey his voice, you need to know, which I will begin to break down for you in other coming episode. 1, 2, 3 things you need to know that work in covenant. So when you know all those things and do according to how God describe or prescribe what to do there, then it says, I will give you victory. He says, then I will be an enemy unto thy enemies. If God become an enemy to your enemies, that is victory without fighting. He said, I, God, will be an enemy unto thy enemies and an adversary to thy adversaries. That means God was speaking here that there are things you need to know in covenant. If you know them and doing them, God himself will take your battle to himself and fight the battle. Can you see that? This is to tell you that since you have been praying against your enemy, how many of them have died? You go to mountain saying, oh Lord, all my enemy, kill them by fire and thunder. Then ask yourself, How many of them have you killed with your prayer? Then there are many things that we need to know as a Christian that prayer cannot do. I am telling you, you need to know that prayer cannot do. But you need to go and seek the manual in your hands and follow his commandment. That is what is the manual? The Bible. Go to the Bible and study very well. Bible will tell you what you need to know and do. Then when you do them, automatically your enemies are in problem. Some prophets do ask people to link their shoes. Now tell me, is it your enemy that is sorry for that? What I know is that you should follow his commandment and leave the rest unto him. So when you follow his commandment, then you will leave the rest for him and he will take care of the rest. Let me give you another one. Praying for prosperity. Praying for prosperity. This is another thing that people look for up and down, that makes you go to one mountain to the other, that has make you spending your money on irrelevant thing or irrelevant people. The prayer that you pray for prosperity is not necessary. You just know what you need to know and you get results. Okay, let's see Genesis chapter 8 verse 22. Genesis chapter 8 verse 22. I read. While the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest time, cold, heat, summer, winter, day, night shall not cease. While the earth remaineth, as long as this world remain, when you sow seed, then harvest will come. That's the meaning. That's the meaning. If you want prosperity, sow seed. So when you sow seed, then harvest will come. God has opened heaven upon everybody in terms of raining, and it rains on every humanity. So either you are a believer or you are an unbeliever, you are white, you are black, plant your seed, then after 3 months or after a year, then you have the harvest. So some people are not ready to go for the seed or for the sowing, then they are praying for the harvest, staying on the mountain, quoting the Bible for harvest, which God will never hear. People want to be prospered like Solomon, but I pray that you will make heaven and you will see Solomon and ask how he did make his prosperity. When you make heaven, if you eventually make heaven, go and ask Solomon. Solomon will tell you, according to First Kings, you go and read it there. 1 Kings chapter 3, particularly when you read verse 3. You see down there, you see what Solomon has done that makes Solomon to be prospered. Let me move forward. Pray for mercy. Of all I will mention, mercy, praying for mercy is one of those prayer points which I disagree with people. When people define mercy as unmerited favor, it is true. Mercy is unmerited favor. The one unmerited means what you don't labor for. But at the same time, it is not absolutely true. There are still something you need to do before you can get mercy. Before I tell you more about mercy, let me quickly have a break.
I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and I will watch to see what it will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain upon the table, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Beloved, I want to introduce you to an online series of teaching tagged The Dreamer and His Dream, anchored by Pastor Oluwarotimi Peter, an online teacher of the word. This teaching is a deed that called the deed. It is an eyes-opening and anointed teaching which God has used to give direction to many. If you are at the T-junction of life, please connect to Reality Global Network, both on Facebook and on YouTube. You will meet the previous episode that will connect you to the program live on every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday respectively at 6 a.m. No dream, no life, no destiny. Join the generation of Joseph today. Share it, like it, and drop your comment. Jesus remains the Lord.
Now, this concept of a covenant is essential to understand, and for many Christians, it more or less defines what it means to be in a relationship with God. Without a covenant, no relationship is possible. Just like the covenant Abraham entered with Abimelech, the covenant God makes with his people through Abraham is a solemn agreement that God initiates that contains certain promises and demands. But the most interesting thing about God's covenant with Abraham occurs in Genesis 15, where God asks Abraham to separate several animals into pieces. In a vision, God, to confirm his covenant, manifests as a smoking flame and passes between the pieces of the animals. Normally, both parties in a covenant would pass between the animals. This time, only God does. This covenant would not fail, because it depended on God alone. It would never be broken. Covenants can be found successively throughout the Old Testament. God makes one with Noah, Abraham, Moses, David. Then eventually the prophet Jeremiah pointed toward a new covenant in the future. Christians believe Jesus, whose own blood is, in his words, the blood of the new covenant, to be greater than Abraham, greater than Moses, who makes a better covenant, one that is available to all people, Jews and Gentiles.
Yo, 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 yo,
on watching Reality
My name is Isaac Sabla. Keep watching Reality TV.
Keep watching reality TV. Thank you.
Keep watching Reality
Welcome back. Don't forget where we stopped. I was telling you that praying for mercy is, I don't say it's wrong to pray for mercy, but there is better way of walking in mercy than to pray for mercy. There are things you need to know, or something you need to know that will stand as a seed, then your prayer will stand as watering it. I read here that there are some rules that you need to follow that mercy automatically will work for you. Let's look at Exodus chapter 20 verse 6. Exodus chapter 20 verse 6. I want us to read about what Bible wants us to know about walking in mercy. You know, I'm talking about covenant. So when you do it right, then you get it right. I read Exodus 26. Showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my covenant. So God was saying that I am the one that will show mercy. You are not the one that will enforce me to be merciful on you, or to ask people to be merciful on you. He said, if I'm going to show mercy unto you, that means showing mercy on thousands. I have capacity or ability to demonstrate or show mercy on thousands of people. But the condition is, anyone that loves me and keep my commandments will walk in mercy. That is what you call covenant. Don't forget, I said covenant is the combination of the terms and condition. I mean, the terms and condition and the blessing to enjoy. Terms and condition and blessing to enjoy. So there are things you need to know. So when you know them and do them, then you are into covenant with God. Then the blessing will automatically come. Then here in these Bible passages, all the Bible references I've been reading, these two things reflect all those Bible references that I've read to you, and the one I will still read to you. Look at this one now. The conditions are there, the blessing is there. The blessings are there. Then what is the blessing in this passage now? Mercy. What is the condition? Condition is love God and keep His commandments. I read. So the God says, let me read here. He said you should flee from sin and come unto Him. I mean, to follow His commandment. So His mercy will be with you from generation to generation. No, we are in kind of the world, the type of the world that people want love, enjoying things without paying price for it. Free of charge kind of life. No, I don't like it. There are things you need to do. Just tell me what I need to do. When I do it, I know you have obligation to play your own part for me. So that's the I have deal with God. So when I do my own thing or I play my own role, I so believe in God that He will definitely play His own role. Let me give you another type of prayer that people pray, that the understanding of covenant can provide for them without prayer. Praying for long life. Praying for long life. In Psalm 91 verse 16. So in Psalm 91 verse 16, I say you don't need just prayer. All you just need is to obey the commandment. I read Psalm 91 where everybody is aware of. In fact, we always quote it, especially in this part of the world. We quote it every morning before we move out into our respective places of work. Long life. With long life will I satisfy you. With long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation. That is blessing. I will satisfy you with long life, then you will enjoy my salvation. That way I will save you, then you will enjoy long life. That is blessing. But let's see condition in verse 1. Verse 1. And that's Psalm 91. Let's read verse 1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. What is the condition here? Dwelling in the secret place of Almighty. And when you are under His shadow, then you live long. Dwelling in the secret place of Almighty. So when you are under the canopy of the Lord, then you live long. Can you see both the condition and the blessing? That not for the pestilence that walk in the darkness, nor for the destruction that walk in the moonlight. The Bible says, even before you quote all this Bible, you need to go and do what it says. That is my emphasis. Before you quote all these Bible references, that is the emphasis I'm laying. That is what we call covenant. Combination of what you do and what you enjoy. But people want to enjoy without doing what they need to do. I don't pray for long life. I don't think I've ever prayed for it. Even when you come to me and tell me that you have seen your vision or you dreamt your dream that something is going to happen to me, many people have delivered many messages to me that have something to do with untimely death, which I have not one day quote Bible to pray against it, or one day to pray or to declare fasting about it. The time I supposed to use for a valuable thing, I'll be wasting it on praying for what is not relevant or what is not real. I'm talking about covenant. Covenant is all we need. So ready to do what you need to do, then God will play His own role. Let me give you another one because of my time. Let me give you another one. After that, I'll have a break. Then I'll complete the rest. Praying for promotion and lifting. I am saying all these things were wrong because I want you to know what you need to do. All is not about praying. Prayer cannot do everything. So, and this junction, I'm talking about praying for promotion or lifting. Let's see Exodus chapter 19, verse 5. Exodus chapter 19, verse 5. Let's look at what the Bible will talk about. We say about the two. About the two. I mean, both the blessing and the condition. Exodus chapter 19, verse 5, I read. Now therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed and keep my commandment, can you see? Conditional. This is condition. Now therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed, take note the word indeed, because some people did obey the voice of the Lord, but they obey it halfway. God asked Abraham to leave his family with his living. but he left everything, but he still disobeyed by taking along member of his family. That is, some people did obey, but they didn't obey indeed. So if the Bible says, now therefore, if you will obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant. Can you see? Let's look at the blessing now. Then it shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above. The word above is lifting. Above all people. For all the earth is mine. So above all people. That's his lifting. Play your role and let him play his own role. You know, I said it the other time in the previous episode that God does not change goalposts in the course of football. Let me read further. I think you understand what this verse is talking about. That if you obey the commandment, that he will make thee a peculiar treasure. What a wonderful God. All you need to do is to obey his voice and follow it accordingly. Then you see the result. You see the result. Do you know some people pray for happy home? They pray for happy home. I have not one day, by the grace of God, I am among the Christians. Don't let me say the pastors. Among the Christians that enjoy family bliss, happiness in family. I have not one day insulted my wife. I have not one day beat my wife. I have not one day harassed my wife. I enjoy my family, comprises myself, my children, and my wife. I enjoy relationship with my children. I never have problem with my children. All of them. By the grace of God, I have not one day admitted any of my children in hospital. Because I enjoy the blessing of covenant. Let's look at what the Bible is saying about praying for happy home. In Ephesians chapter 5, verse 12 to 25. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 12 to 25. I want us to see what the Bible says about the covenant. The covenant there, a marriage covenant. That is the combination of what you do and want to enjoy. The combination of what you do and want to enjoy. So when you play your own part in marriage, then God will play his own part. Let's just take it from verse 23. Let's just take it from verse 23 because of 21 because of our time. Let's take it from verse 21 to 25. My engineer give it to me. So we see that in the side of God, God doesn't have problem. Can you see now? Submit yourself one to another in the fear of the Lord. That is both of them. If you want to enjoy peace in the family, submit yourself. That is both of them. Now, here, Bible is not taking them one by one. It later talk about wife and husband. Let's see it now. Wife, submit yourself unto your own husband as unto the Lord. Then give it to me. Let me see the next verse. Verse 23. For the husband is the head of the wife, as even Christ the head of the church, and is the savior of the body. Then verse 24. Let's see verse 24. Therefore, as the church is subject unto Christ, so let wife be unto their own husband in everything. Verse 25. Verse 25. Let's see verse 25 now. I read. Husband, love your wife, even as Christ loved the church and gave himself unto he. Give him verse 26. Let's see 26. There's something in that he might sanctify them, and cleanse it with washing of water by the word. Then the word washing sanctify them and cleanse it with washing of water by the word. What's it mean? That is the blessing. If God cleansed you or purify you or clean you, that means every practical, every spiritual mess, spiritual particles, spiritual hindrances that's supposed to affect your life or affect your marriage, God will clean everything away. Then when you are clean, then you are presentable and acceptable. But before that is done, God has given instruction to both of them and individuals. Can you see? That's what you need to do before you enjoy what you want to from the Lord. Let me try to give you two more or three before I make it a day. Don't forget, I am teaching you this secret of covenant from a book which God has used me to write by His grace, by His grace. Let me give you 2 or 3 more before I make it a day. But before I do that, let me quickly have a break.
I love this one, man of God. I love this one. Holy Baba ẹ ṣé, Jésù ẹ ṣé, fúnre tẹ ṣe fún mi. Baba ẹ ṣé, Jésù ẹ ṣé, fúnre tẹ ṣe fún mi. Nítorí báyé tí bẹ́ fún mi kọ́ lórí, mo wá níyàn lọ́wọ́. Baba ẹ ṣé, Jésù ẹ ṣé, fúnre tẹ ṣe fún mi. Baba o, Baba ẹ ṣé, Jésù ẹ ṣé, fúnre tẹ ṣe fún mi. Ọlọ́run ẹ ṣé o, Baba ẹ ṣé, Jésù ẹ ṣé, fúnre tẹ ṣe fún mi. Nítorí pé báyé tí fẹ́ fún mi kọ́ lórí, mo wá yíyọ́ lọ́wọ́. Baba ẹ ṣé, Jésù ẹ ṣé, fúnre tẹ ṣe fún mi. So, onye na-eme mmalị bụ ikpere mmalị. Ụmụ Chineke, ụmụ Chineke, nwanne Jizọs igwe, onye ọma, onye ọma, onye ọma, onye ọma, onye ọma, onye ọma, ebube dike, ebube dike, ebube dike, ebube dike, ebube dike, ebube dike. Onye sị Chukwu, 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 Chukwu. Onye lere mmadụ ekpe ikpere nla. Chineke ịdị mma. My God, you are good. My God, you are good. Olúwa ẹ dára o. Olúwa ẹ dára. Ọlọ́run ẹ dára o. Olúwa ẹ dára. Olúwa ẹ dára o. Olúwa ẹ dára. My God, you are good. 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 Olúwa ó dára sí mi o. Olúwa ẹ dára. Chineke ịdị mma sị. Onye leledu na-ekwu ikpere nla. Onye lelego na-ekwu ikpere nla. Onye lelewa na-ekwu ikpere nla. Onye na-abịa ọzọ na-ekwu ikpere nla. Ologbu akata aka na-ekwu ikpere nla. Olodi eloreli na-ekwu ikpere nla. Agụ leta mba na-ekwu ikpere nla. Onye sị lift up your voice and shout. Hallelujah. When your name is all the people of that, give Jesus praise. Wow. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Pastor Chico, say, ladies and gentlemen, loudly wait on.
My name is Engineer Adimo. Keep on watching Reality
My name is Isaac Emotion. Keep watching Reality TV.
Keep watching Reality TV. Thank you.
Keep watching Reality TV.